What if I told you that one simple habit, done at the quietest time of day, could help you wake up feeling lighter, looser, and more refreshed? With less stiffness in your joints, calmer digestion, and even softer skin. No supplements, no diets, just half a tablespoon of olive oil taken before bed. Sounds too simple, right? But that's exactly what made all the difference for one 81-year-old woman. In this video, I'll show you what happened to her, what the science says, and why this ancient oil might be the easiest health shift you make this year. Stay tuned until the end to see the full impact it had on her daily life. And if you've tried this too, let us know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple, powerful wellness tips just like this. Before we dive into her story, let's take a moment to understand why olive oil is so powerful. Extra virgin olive oil, especially when cold-pressed and unrefined, is rich in monounsaturated fats, polyphenols, and natural anti-inflammatory compounds. It's been linked to lower cholesterol, improved heart health, and better cognitive function in older adults. Research also shows it supports digestion, reduces bloating, and even hydrates skin from within. No wonder more people are using it not just in cooking, but as a wellness ritual. Now, meet Margaret. This is the story of Margaret, an 81-year-old woman who lives just outside Santa Fe, New Mexico. She's sharp, active, and still tends to her garden, and bakes bread for her grandkids every Saturday. But like many people her age, she began to notice small discomforts creeping into her everyday life. Her knees felt stiff when she woke up. Her skin had dry patches that wouldn't go away, and her digestion, which had once been smooth and reliable, began to slow down. These weren't severe problems, just the subtle signs of a body that was aging, a body asking for a little extra support. Margaret had read about olive oil before. She knew it was good for the heart, that it helped with cholesterol, and that people in Mediterranean countries seemed to live longer and healthier lives. But she had never tried taking it on its own, as a nightly ritual. Then one day, she stumbled upon an article that talked about the benefits of taking half a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil right before bed. Not for cooking, not for salad dressing, but raw, straight from the spoon. Like a natural remedy passed down through generations. Something about it resonated with her, and she decided to try it. She didn't change anything else in her lifestyle. She still had her morning coffee, still took her afternoon walk, and still cooked her meals the way she always had. The only new thing she added was half a tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil, taken right before she went to sleep. No lemon, no water, just the oil, and she made sure it was the real kind, cold-pressed, unrefined, stored in a dark glass bottle and kept away from sunlight, so that its nutrients would stay intact. The first night, she was surprised by the taste. It was more intense than she expected, with a slightly peppery finish that made her cough a little, but she didn't mind it. It felt clean and earthy, and once she swallowed it, she brushed her teeth, turned off the lights, and went to bed as usual. The next morning, she noticed that she didn't feel as heavy in her stomach. Normally, she would wake up with a bit of bloating or sluggishness, but that day, her belly felt calm and settled, and she moved through her morning routine with more ease than usual. By the third night, she began to notice something different in her knees. Usually, when she swung her legs out of bed, she would sit for a minute or two before standing up, just to give her joints time to loosen. But on that morning, she got up almost immediately, with less stiffness, less hesitation, and more fluid motion. She later told her daughter that it felt like someone had gone in during the night and oiled her joints from the inside. It was the kind of change that wasn't dramatic, but undeniably real. And it gave her a sense of optimism, like maybe her body still had the ability to renew itself in small ways. As the week continued, other changes began to show up. Her digestion became more regular, and she no longer felt the need to lie down after lunch. Her energy remained steady throughout the day, and she even skipped her usual afternoon nap a couple of times. She found herself feeling more alert, not jittery, but simply awake and aware, like her body wasn't weighed down by sluggish metabolism. She also noticed that her skin, especially on her hands and cheeks, was starting to feel softer. The dry patches that had been bothering her for months began to fade. And even her neighbor commented that she looked more rested than usual. There was also a change in her appetite. She didn't feel as hungry between meals, and when she did eat, she felt more satisfied with smaller portions. Her grandson, who is a nutritionist, explained to her that healthy fats like those found in extra virgin olive oil help regulate hormones related to hunger and satiety. One of the most surprising changes for Margaret was in her sleep. She began sleeping more deeply and waking up fewer times during the night. Previously, she would often wake up once or twice, sometimes from discomfort or needing to use the bathroom, but during that week, she began to sleep through the night more often. And when she did wake up, it was easier to fall back asleep. She said it felt like her body was simply more at peace during the night. And that peace carried over into how she felt in the morning. Of course, it wasn't a miracle. She didn't feel 20 years younger. And she wasn't jumping out of bed like a teenager. But the improvements were clear enough to matter. She felt better. She moved better. She looked more alive. And all of it came from half a tablespoon of olive oil, taken at night, with no other changes. It's worth noting that there was one night when she took a little more than usual, about a tablespoon, thinking that more might be better. The next morning, she felt a little too loose in the stomach, which reminded her that even with something as natural as olive oil, moderation matters. For her, half a tablespoon was just right. And she learned to listen to her body and stick with what felt good. So, what exactly was happening in her body during the night? When we sleep, our body shifts into repair mode. The digestive system slows down, the liver begins to detoxify, and inflammation starts to decrease if conditions are right. Olive oil, especially high-quality extra virgin, supports all of these processes. Its healthy fats nourish cell membranes, reduce oxidative stress, and assist with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Taken at night, it doesn't interfere with other foods, and instead gets absorbed more slowly, allowing the body to benefit from its nutrients without distraction. It also helps line the digestive tract, supporting gut health and reducing the kind of irritation that can cause bloating or irregularity. This is especially important for older adults, whose digestive systems may become more sensitive over time. By soothing the gut overnight, olive oil can lead to a calmer, flatter stomach in the morning. And when the gut is calm, the brain often follows, which may help explain why Margaret's sleep improved along with her digestion. A study found that individuals who consumed just half a tablespoon of olive oil per day had a significantly lower risk of dying from heart disease, neurodegenerative diseases, and respiratory conditions. And in the landmark Prevention with Mediterranean Diet trial, conducted in Spain, participants who followed a Mediterranean diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil experienced reduced rates of stroke and cognitive decline over time. But perhaps what's most fascinating is how quickly some of these effects can be felt, especially when the oil is taken raw, at night, and consistently, just like Margaret did. Now, will everyone have the same experience as Margaret? Maybe not exactly. But based on her story and what science supports, some people may feel better digestion, less joint stiffness, more hydrated skin, improved appetite regulation, and deeper sleep after just a few nights of consistent use. It's not a miracle cure, but it's one of the simplest habits you can try, that comes with very little downside and potentially powerful benefits. Margaret has decided to keep this ritual as part of her weekly routine. Not every night, but 2 or 3 times a week, as a gentle, thoughtful gesture to herself. She said it makes her feel like she's doing something kind for her body. Something simple and nourishing that requires no effort, no cost, and no prescription. And at her age, that sense of agency and care is just as valuable as the physical benefits. So if you're wondering whether drinking olive oil before bed can really make a difference, consider what happened to Margaret. Her experience isn't unique, and science backs up many of the benefits she felt. From improved digestion and joint comfort to better skin and deeper sleep. A small act done at the right time can lead to noticeable change. If you're curious to try it yourself, start with half a tablespoon. Choose a high-quality extra virgin olive oil, preferably cold-pressed and stored in a dark glass bottle. Take it just before bed on an empty stomach. and see how you feel in the morning. Give it a few nights. Pay attention to your body, and you might just discover that one of the easiest health upgrades is already sitting on your kitchen shelf. Thanks for watching, and if you've ever tried this yourself, or know someone who has, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.